Hey, hi, Lisa Marie here. Another serious subject slash topic that I think really, if we're honest with ourselves, anybody who has ever had any type of eating addiction has had an issue with stress eating. Maybe you call it mindless eating, maybe you call it grazing, maybe you're honest with yourself and you know it's stress eating, and maybe you're not so honest with yourself and you don't even know it's happening until you can't fit in your clothes. I am not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist by any means, I'm not a therapist. I am just definitely someone who has been an addict of foods for a really long time and have stuffed down the emotions that I was trying to cover up with food. So there's a difference. After you have weight loss surgery of any kind, it doesn't matter. Any of the bariatric surgeries are all affecting your stomach and what you can eat, right? And we know this is a good thing, right? However, it is possible for us to ignore those new tools and those new signals that our body gives us and overdo it. I mean, it happens. Let's be real. It happens. Life still happens. We're still human. We're still here on earth, and we're still going to have to live life and deal with work and society and family and our brain and just everything. We just have to do it. So a couple of things that helped me. First of all, when I went through that book called Love Hunger, and it's healing addictions to food, huge, oh my gosh, the light bulbs that went off when I read that somebody actually put into print, what I was thinking and feeling was pretty awesome. But it was also kind of painful, because then it was like, gosh, that's me. That's me behaving like that. That's me thinking that way. Hey, the comforting thing was I had thought I was in this bubble and that I was alone and I was the only one thinking this way or doing these different things or going back to old habits. And reading that somebody else has done it too, huge, huge, huge that I wasn't alone. It's just trying to find, out of the billions of people on this planet, trying to find the few that are around you that you can actually relate to, sometimes can be a little difficult. So that book was pretty strategic in starting me on the right path to healing and changing my thought pattern. Is it all the way healed? No. Do I do it right all of the time? No. But I am way quicker at recognizing it and changing it when it does happen. So stress eating. For me, stress eating happens at work. Sometimes at home too, but it can happen more at work or when I don't eat when I'm actually hungry. And if I wait too long, then it's like no holds barred and bring it on, and then that just causes different issues. But it was like that for me prior to surgery. So prior to surgery, I didn't have a fullness mechanism. I just didn't. Especially if I ate when I wasn't actually hungry. I could eat as much as 2 men or more because I didn't have that fullness. I don't know why God made me that way, but he did. So now, since weight loss surgery, I have a tool and I have a mechanism, and I'm telling you, it is there. However, there have been a couple of times I would have to actually look back in my tracking in my journal to tell you how many times, but probably more than I can count on one hand, of a few times that I have caught myself eating and not needing to, or eating past what was actually comfortable. And for me, the thing that helps is having a portion. Having an actual portion of whatever I'm going to have is just instrumental in not overdoing it. And you cannot have anything to eat within an arm's reach. You just can't do it. If you're going to be in an environment, in your own home, in the work, in the car, at a friend's house, whatever it is that triggers that stress for you, if you've got anything within arm's reach, fat brain does come back. Fat brain has been there for however long it's been there. For me, it's been 20, I'm 50, so over 30 years. 30 years that fat brain has been there talking to me, and that bully has been telling me all kinds of lies and different things. So you can't have food within reach. You really need to start and have only what your portion is. Now, there's a lot of us who have things called, what's it called? Slider foods. I feel very blessed in that I don't have a slider food. I feel really, really, really lucky, and I can only contribute it to, it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. It doesn't matter if you have faith or not. It doesn't matter if you go to church or not. If you can just do one thing, and that is talk to yourself and ask yourself, what do you really want? What does success look like to you having weight loss surgery? And if what you really want is to change your thoughts and change the way you eat and change your habits, then you need to ask for that. I started it with prayer and asking God before my surgery, because I was super addicted to fat, greasy, fried, creamy, everything. And I knew that wasn't good for my body, and I knew that wasn't going to be good for me for later. So I prayed ahead of time, kind of like cursing. Oh my gosh, I used to be a sailor. Had a really bad potty mouth, and I had to pray to change that. Change my thoughts, change the words, change that habit. And he did. It didn't happen overnight. It did not happen overnight. But I caught it one day and realized, hey, I didn't use those fillers. Hey, that person upset me and I didn't say all kinds of mean, hurtful things to them. So the same thing is with our food and our body. If you don't want to be a stress eater, then you need to ask. You need to ask and say, please change that in me. Please give me new habits, a new mindset, new ideas, and new ways to cope with stress. That's where you got to start. That's where I started. Okay? So some of the tools and the different things that I've been given are not having food anywhere near me on only the portion. That was kind of my first new habit. The second thing was I actually started in my little bullet journal of kind of keeping track. This is back a little bit, but this is how I lay out what I want to do in the week. And this is how I track each day. Well, over here, if I'm stress eating or something triggers it and I catch that I've already done it, I would write it right here. Or I did it here at the end of the week, which is my weekend review. And I do highlights, challenges, and reflect. And so for me, highlight anything awesome and amazing that went like I wanted. Challenges were things that didn't quite go as planned or as I wanted or that caused stress. And then the reflect was maybe what came to mind or what I thought of to change or do differently. So you can do this. If you do something like this, you keep a notebook, keep whatever. I keep a bullet journal because I can put things in between and I don't have to find another journal and do something crazy and make more stress. We don't want that. So this week, I started thinking in my new one that I made where I'm keeping track of the calories, and I'm doing that just kind of as a benefit to know what the calories are a meal. But I'm actually thinking of either extending this over a little or adding a line down here that would allow me to make like a little emoji face of what I was feeling when it was time to eat. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you can use the notes on your phone. You can make a note thing in there and you could totally use emojis. You know, a happy face was you were eating when you were hungry and when you should have and everything was good, to a face of you waited too long and now you were too hungry and you ate too fast. Maybe took too big of bites. Maybe you had liquids with your meals. You know, whatever. Make up your own thing. Whatever's going to work for you is what's going to work for you. So another helpful hint, though, about stress eating for me that I did here at the office was I only had available good things. I know they're not as fun. They're not as fun to have around. But if you only have good things that are good for you, like jerky and nuts, then at least if you're going to stress eat, you're going to be eating something that's going to fill you up and that's going to do your body good. It's kind of the way I looked at it. But really, since I've taken food kind of out of my reach, and oh my gosh, I use the alarm on my phone and on my other watch. I use that and I set it for when it's time to actually eat. And my body just likes it at 2.5, 3 hours. So at 2.5 hours, my alarm will go off and I look at the clock and I go, well, am I hungry? Sort of, maybe not. By keeping your body not full, but nourished, by keeping your body nourished with fuel and good food, you aren't going to want to stress eat. You aren't going to want to put junk in you because A, your tummy's already full and you can't do it. So my other thing is at home when it's happened, to help with the stress eating is I had to find something to change it with. So I picked up my crocheting, and you cannot crochet with 2 hands or knit with 2 hands and eat also. It's pretty difficult. So if you're stressed and you can pick up something else and replace it instead of with food, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's making something with your hands, do scrapbooking or work with clay, do a craft. What was the other thing I just did? Oh my gosh, I didn't think I would forget it. Gardening. I know nothing about gardening. I have black thumbs, but I noticed that when I got these little plants and I got the little soil and I was feeling stressed, I went outside to the little workbench area and I could put this stuff together and be breathing and be kind of talking it out because I'm stressed and I'm going to talk. And pretty soon I wasn't stressed and I didn't eat. Instead, I helped the life of a plant. So I know it's not a lot of advice. I know it's not new by any means, but that's what kind of worked for me to fight stress eating. And the other thing is to always have your liquids. Have your liquids handy. And if you like hot liquids, have hot liquids. If you like room temperature, have room temperature. If you like ice cold, like me now, which I did not like before surgery, then have your ice cold liquids. I really don't drink out of a straw very often anymore. And the reason is because I don't want the pucker smoker lips. So I've been drinking just out of a cup normally, but I had this straw and I wanted to see how it fit, and it's what I'm trying. So there's my ideas. there's my ideas for how to handle or change stressful eating, especially after weight loss surgery, because it's so important. It's so important to change your mind so it will change your habits so that your body will change and you won't either ruin your staples and stomach or stretch it out. I really want you to be successful. I really, really, really do. I pray for that. I pray for that for you every day because it's hard. Having weight loss surgery is hard. It is not easy. And if you run across someone who's trying to tell you, or that bully in your head is trying to tell you you're failing because you ate too much, or you're failing because you found a food that didn't give you a full feeling, which is called a slider food, you're not a failure. And the way we learn is by failing. I mean, heck, if you never failed or you never messed up anything in your life, I think you'd be kind of boring. Wouldn't you? I know I would be. I'd be bored with myself. Too many wonky things happen that I just learn. You just learn from them, and be gracious to yourself. Be forgiving to yourself, because God does. God loves you. God loves me, even when I mess up. I mean, hello, Peter of all people in the Bible was like me. He's like all of us, maybe on steroids, but he messed up all the time. And God never said to him, oh, sorry, you just messed up one time too many, you're out. No, there was not a 3 strikes and you're out for Peter. Instead, God worked around what he did and worked it out to be something good and even better, because that's our example that we get to look at now. So just know that when you mess up, it's okay. First of all, it's okay. It's going to happen. Second of all, don't be so hard on yourself. And if you really want to change, pray about it. Ask God. He really is in the business of granting our desires of our hearts. He really is. And he wants the best for you too. So ask him. What do you have to lose? Really? What do you have to lose? You have to lose a bad habit. You have to lose, let's see, what else could you lose? You could lose feeling guilty, feeling shameful, feeling less than, feeling like a failure. You could lose that bully in the back of your head. I think these are good things to lose, don't you? I do. I think they're good things to lose. So there's my lunchtime little rant of just maybe how to cope with stress eating after surgery, because it's still there. It still happens. People are still people. Life is still life. You just have to find a new way, and your new way might not be like anybody else's way. And that's okay, because you're you. You're not me, you're you. And what works for me might not work for you. And what maybe worked for you prior to surgery, just like our beverages, just like our foods, just like our activities, just like our taste buds, it all changes after stomach surgery. I don't know why it does, but it does. So don't be so hard on yourself. Really, really don't be so hard on yourself. Just ask other people. Ask skinny people that you know. Hey, what do you do when you're stressed? And 9 times out of 10, if they're honest, some of them will tell you they still eat, but a lot of them will give you great ideas and great tips for what they do. Maybe go get your nails done. Maybe go have a massage. Maybe paint your own nails. There's so many different things that you can do, and there's a lot of things you can do that don't cost money that can help you relieve stress, or at least change it so that you have a different perception of what the stress is. Getting enough sleep, getting enough water, getting enough protein. Those are like 3 huge things that will help you, your mind and your body, handle stress better. So I hope it helps. If you have any questions or you have any ideas, oh my gosh, if you have ideas or something, please share it below. Let me know, because I mean, stress comes out of the woodwork sometimes and we have no clue of what to do. So if you have an idea or something that you found that works for you, share it. Share it, share it, share it with me. I would love to know. And if you're having an issue with stress eating, let me know that too. You can comment down below or message me. I will not, what do you call it? I won't share your confidence. I don't know what that's called. I'll keep it private. Brain. I will keep it private, but I will definitely pray, because God already knows anyway. So there you have it. Y'all have a great afternoon, and know that I'm praying for you. And today's Thursday. There's actually I think there's one person on my calendar that I have over there that's having surgery, that actually had it this morning. So I'm praying for you and your recovery, and I hope all is well, and I will talk to y'all later. Thanks so much. Bye.